I seem to exclusively make these videos when I'm in a state of impending dread. I have a Costa Coffee interview tomorrow and my brain is in terrible waiting mode, so I'm making a video about fucking Undertale the musical. Initially, this video was a lot longer and included more examples of Undertale the musical being not very good.
Make yourself comfy, come on in from the code. Thank you for dating me, coming to my home.
But it felt mean to rag on a project that is, at this point, 10 years old and the creator's first go at something like this. So now it's a lot shorter and focused on my main source of ire, the changes made in the remake version of Hopes and Dreams, because that's more recent and somehow worse than the original. My last video was in part about how the amateur nature of early stage projects lends itself to the tone and characterization of the story, how the rough edges supplement the story being told in ways perhaps not intended by the author, but that the reader or viewer nonetheless picks up on. This is part 2 of that specific conversation, because rather than art styles, today we're talking about performance.
You're filled with determination, Kara.
That is not my name!
We'll be here fighting together, playing for eternity. The strength that let you get this far, it's nothing compared to me. I feel your determination, I feel their hopes and dreams. They give me the strength to be here, fighting for eternity.
You're filled with determination, Kara.
That is not my name!
We'll be here fighting together, playing for eternity. The strength that let you get this far, it's nothing compared to me. I feel your determination, you can feel their hopes and dreams. But at the end of this tale, there is only you and me.
You can hear the difference, right? Objectively, the remake is a little better sung, if not as enthusiastic, but the delivery takes on a totally different tone. Within the text of Undertale, the fight against the God of Hyperdeath is a battle happening between two kids. Between a kid that wants the game to go on forever so that they don't have to confront what happens after it ends, and a kid trying to reach out and say that they don't have to face that end alone. To that end, the younger sounding Asriel, who's performing a bit more than remake Asriel, serves this purpose narratively a lot more effectively. In a musical, you're not just creating good music. If you were, just hold a concert at that point. You also have to sell the character you're playing that the song is a diegetic part of the story taking place, because if your character enters song and is suddenly A-OK, that's immersion breaking. And Undertale the musical is, by its own admission, a musical. Smoothing out what was previously unsmooth on purpose is making the musical aspect less convincing. Listen to the differing ways both Asriels deliver the "it's nothing compared to me" line.
It's nothing compared to me.
It's nothing compared to me.
Do you see what I mean? I can believe that the first Asriel is in a desperate battle whilst trying to sound cool, whereas the second Asriel is making a YouTube song. Oh, and put Frisk on the back burner, we'll get to them in the next example. It's not just the performance that's less convincing in the remaster, it's the changed lyrics and what they imply about the character's mental states at the time of this fight. This is the bit that inspired my initial Tumblr post about the topic.
I've messed around with you for far too long, let's purge this time again. Come with me, Kara, come with your best friend.
That is not my name!
Stop trying to live, stop all the dodging, stop standing in my way. Please let me win for once in your life.
Kara is not my name!
Freed from the flower, now my true power fills all the dark with light. Now I'm uncovered, so let your brother finally win the fight.
Seen the history, a broken family, but it can be repaired. May not be Kara, but I still swear even you can be spared.
The kiddie aspect is even more destroyed in this section. In the original, Asriel is throwing a bit of a tantrum, asking Kara to come with him desperately, before begging him to let him win for once in his life. It sounds appropriately childish, like a younger sibling whining about not winning at Mario Kart and getting teary-eyed over it, whereas the new version sounds a bit like an older brother in an anime being like, "Heh, I'll take care of it." for the scenario presented in this fight, it's worse narratively. Also, hey, man on the internet, what does "now I'm uncovered" mean? The reveal that Azriel was Flowey, given the previous line? If so, what relation does that have at all to him winning? The "so" implies a relation between the two sentences, but it doesn't work at all. Just kind of awful writing here, sorry. And then we get to Frisk's verse. This bit sucks. Firstly, Frisk's voice in this song is grating. It was cute in the original, clearly put on, but it's convincing. It's so forced in the new version, and the delivery is weird, man. Remember when we put a pin in the previous example? Frisk here sounds not desperate or empathetic, but bratty.
That is not my name!
Oh my god. This continues into this verse, where we're immediately hit by the musical equivalent of a block of ice with
Seen the historee.
maybe the worst line I've ever heard in any song ever, and I've listened to Mask by Dream. It's grating, and the rhyme barely works. That's not how people say the word history. Beyond that, what is Frisk saying about the dreamers here? Granted, this is from Frisk's perspective, so maybe their opinion of things is warped, but one of the things I personally liked about Undertale is that the dreamers, after everything's said and done, do not become a happy family. Sure, Toriel takes in Frisk, and Asgore presumably is in the picture, somewhere, but it's implied that Toriel and Sans become the item at the end of things, and the dreamers stay separated. The scars of their traumas are too deep. There is no going back to how things were beforehand, because their two children are dead, and Asgore is a child murderer, and Toriel a spineless recluse. Frisk is making a false promise to Azriel here. One Azriel likely knows, because of the resets and him talking to both Asgore and Toriel as Flowey, is utter bullshit. I can't buy this as Frisk trying to convince Azriel that he too can be spared, because what the hell argument is this if both of them know it's not true? And beyond that, Azriel thinks he's unspareable because it means Frisk wins and the game ends, and B, he doesn't think he deserves it for everything he did as Flowey. The dreamers and their broken family have nothing to do with it. Azriel, by his own admission, says that he cares about Kara more than anything else. Not his parents, Kara, who Frisk cannot repair, cannot bring back. I think this line frustrates me so much because of the undertones, you know? Being woke dog a little bit here, but the idea that everything will be fixed once a nuclear family gets back together is a bit reductive, and also, hilariously, something Chapter 5 covers in Deltarune, and how Asgore trying to repair everything with traditionally heteronormative displays of affection entirely destroyed things further. Even in the world where an attempt was made, it didn't work. I don't really know what I'm trying to say with this particular video essay beyond furthering my point that sometimes amateur things make things better. I just had a lot of thoughts about this random piece of Undertale fan content that I don't really like, and I wanted to talk about it.